Hello, I'm Jason Shapiro with crowdedmarketreport.com. So I just thought I wanted to point out, because as someone who monitors very closely things like sentiment and positioning to try to find where there are good risk reward opportunities from a contrarian side, we have seen some big changes, certainly in the sentiment over the last few weeks. And I feel like if I didn't point these out, I'd be a little remiss in talking about this stuff. So just a few of them. And I'll start by saying any single one of these indicators I have found are not very great on their own. But when they all start to line up in the same way, there can be a message there. And, if we just take a quick look, this is the CNN Fear and Greed Index. Is it at massive extremes? No. But this was down here, but a couple months ago, right? So clearly this had adjusted. And of course, there's no surprise here because these things tend to be very correlated to the market. And the market is on all-time highs. So clearly the bullishness is going to get more. But this is just pointing to the fact that the bullishness is getting more. Same thing with the AAII. We see bulls at over 46% now, which is higher than your historical average, and really one of the first times it's been higher than your historical average. And first of all, without a doubt, the first time that it's higher since the market sold off in April. And this was not really getting anywhere. You could see even up to last week, it wasn't really getting anywhere. And then all of a sudden it had a big jump last week. So again, this one's starting to get a little bit overdone on that side. Put call ratio, you can see where there were a ton of puts being bought back in April as the markets were coming down, and that has slowly come off, and we're now back to sort of danger levels. So these are three things that are showing, sentiment has certainly changed, if nothing else. And if you believe in sentiment as an indicator, at the very least, it changes the risk reward of the long trade here. I'm not here to say that we're in reg flat territory, short everything. I don't see that necessarily yet, but we are certainly in yellow. We've gone from straight up green to what I would consider yellow at this point, which maybe means you reduce some size. That's kind of up to you how you see it, but I'm just pointing this out because I think it's important. This is, as far as positioning goes, the COT positioning, first of all, it didn't come out this week because of the July 4th holiday. It will come out on Monday, and we will be able to talk about that on Monday at the close when we do our COT report. But given that the last COT stuff was showing some reduction of shorts in the stock market, and that was now going back quite a while to 2 Tuesdays ago, and the market has essentially done nothing but go up since then, I would have to guess that the positioning has gotten even more long by speculators, which would get us closer to sort of a neutral reading. Again, I don't expect that they're going to be massively long, but I would bet that they're going to be a hell of a lot less short than they have been, which coincides with the rest of this stuff. And, this NAAIM number is a positioning thing as well. This is supposed to tell us where, money managers are positioned. And again, you can see back in April, they had gotten to extreme low levels. And now they're right back to where they were at dangerous levels, right? This post-election, they're right back to where they were there, which was pretty much the top of the market for now. Well, until now, right? So again, just wanted to point this stuff out because I think it's important. Things have changed, right? It was pretty clear for the last few months, people were too bearish, people were too short, and they have slowly gotten now to a point where they are not so bearish anymore. In fact, they've gotten a lot more bullish, and they are not so short anymore. And I will say again, that means the odds have changed here. The risk reward has changed, if nothing else. Okay, so something to keep an eye on. I hope that helps. It's going to be very interesting to see what the COT has to say this week and how much people actually did buy, to see where we can see where the COT positioning is. But we'll know that on Monday, and we'll talk about that then. I look forward to it, and I hope everybody's having a nice long weekend. Thanks.
Hi, I just wanted to say if you like daily videos, we do them 4 days a week, Monday through Thursday for people, and it costs, $10 a month. And I try to include a lot of other lessons as I go through, as you see in the daily videos as well. For that $10 a month, you also get our COT charts on equity indices and crypto. So if you think that's worth it, give it a shot. All right. And we hope to see you there. Thanks.